Hello guys, in this video I'd like to compare the keyboard with the Gamecube controller. I will be discussing and explaining how you can play Captain Falcon with your keyboard, what the pros and cons are going to be, and what works best in my opinion for the character. First, I would like to show you my keyboard settings, and then I would like to show you the aspects we're going to take a closer look at. This video is only going to show information about keyboard Captain Falcon. I'm not going to talk about or discuss any other characters. I'm also going to rate the skills you need to perform these moves on a scale of 1 to 5. First up, we've got the wave dash. Wave dashing on the keyboard is a little bit harder than the controller. The timings is a bit weird because usually you would press buttons as fast as possible, but on the keyboard you actually have to slow yourself down, a little bit on purpose. This is what makes this move a little bit harder. If you press the buttons too fast, your character will jump, which sucks. The more I've played, the smoother and more consistent my wave dashes are getting. In general, if you get a wave dash on the keyboard, it's almost always going to be a frame 1 or 2 wave dash. It's super smooth and super satisfying, like you won't see your character being in the jump animation at all. This is a thing I've noticed on controller players quite a bit. Their character tends to be in a jumping animation, and you can even hear Captain Falcon doing his air dodge sound, so these kind of wave dashes aren't so smooth. Notice that you only have one wave dash angle on the keyboard. This is exactly 45 degrees. So pros, frame 1 or 2 wave dashes most of the time. Cons, a bit harder to learn, only one wave dash angle. Difficulty, I'm going to rate this one a 2.5 out of 5. Next up, we got the dash wave dash. The dash wave dash is one of Falcon's main tools when it comes to reaction tech chasing. For example, when you down throw Fox, he DIs down and away. You'll need to get good and smooth with the dash wave dash to be able to continue your tech chase. Now, here the keyboard had impressed me, because they work super great and tech chasing in general is a lot easier with the keyboard, but we will come back to that aspect later. You'll have to be careful here too. If you press the buttons too fast, it will cause your character to jump and you might not be able to continue your reaction tech chase. How it's done: dash, input a wave dash, hold down on the left for a bit, release. Pros, super easy and honestly works better than a controller in my opinion. Cons, if you miss the input, it will cause jumps. Difficulty, again, 2.5 out of 5. Next up, we got the dash dance game. Now, the dash dancing on the keyboard is broken. Whenever you press to the left or right, your character will start a dash immediately. You basically can't miss a dash or dash back or whatever dash. Your character will always be dashing like crazy. Dash dance game on the keyboard is super easy and super fun to play with, since Falcon has the fastest running speeds in the game that makes it even more enjoyable. Pros, super easy to do mix-ups, can't really miss important dashes unless you really mess up the timing. Cons, you can't walk up slowly and down smash.
You should take me seriously, because look at the scoreboard right now.
Yeah. Got numbers on the...
Yo, did he just walk up slowly and down smash?
He did.
Difficulty, 1 out of 5. Shield stops. Shield stop turnaround into something is definitely one of the most important tools every Falcon main should use. I've been analyzing a lot of S2J sets recently, and the way he positions his character with them is truly amazing. Shield stop into a back wave dash is not hard at all on the keyboard, and it's really useful to grab a ledge in a fast way and do clean edge guards. The shield stop turnaround into short hop nair is a bit harder because it's hard to do short hops on the keyboard. In general, everything that has to do with shielding feels way easier on the keyboard because you don't have to push one entire big ass trigger down. Normal shield stopping turnaround, dash, change direction of the dash, hold L afterwards. Difficulty for a normal shield stop turnaround is probably a 1 out of 5, it's pretty easy. Difficulty for a shield stop turnaround back wave dash, 2.5 out of 5. And finally, difficulty for shield stop turnaround short hop nair is a 4 out of 5. Next up, we've got pivoting. Now, here I gotta say the controller beats out the keyboard because they feel way easier to do on the controller. They can be done on the keyboard by pressing dash to the left, then right, and then down in a super fast order. Also, you have to press the right and down buttons super fast and release them directly, otherwise you won't be able to perform pivots. If you press back and down at the same time, a pivot will also not work. It needs a lot of practice and it's a bit harder on the keyboard, but not impossible. So difficulty is going to be a 4 out of 5. Next up, Moonwalking. Moonwalking works fine ish on the keyboard, but it needs practice. I am better on the controller with it, and it feels a little bit easier on the controller. Some people told me that they can moonwalk better on their box. I think it's just a personal preference though. It's just something you need to grind a bit, and then it works fine on the controller and on the keyboard, so this is why I gave that aspect an even rating for both. How do you do it? Left, down, right, hold, repeat, or right, down, left, hold, and repeat. Difficulty, solid 2 out of 5. I'd also like to throw in wavelands and other stylish stuff. They feel smooth on the keyboard, but not necessarily easier. It's more comfortable because you don't have to push down a big trigger all the time. So in that aspect, I would say it's about even again. Difficulty, 2 out of 5. How to do? Just press L right before you're about to land on a platform, plus left or right. Power shielding. Now this is definitely a super important tool, and it feels much easier on the keyboard. Like, seriously, everything when it comes to shielding just feels so easy on the keyboard, just because of the fact that you just press one button down and not a big left or right trigger. I would say the keyboard wins here slightly, but this is just my personal feeling. Power shielding into wave dash out of shield is also pretty doable on keyboard. Just needs a lot of practice to find the right timing. Difficulty, a 4 out of 5. Also as a tip, press L when the Falco laser touches Falcon's hand or back, and not before that. Usually you would input your wave dash right, but when a Falco laser hits you while you're still in shield, you will have to wait out the hit lag frames. Then you'll be able to perform the wave dash out of shield. If you input that while you're still in hit lag, it will cause an air dodge, and you can very easily get stuck in the shield, and your opponent can punish you really easily. Next, let's talk about hack stashing. Hack stashing on the keyboard is way easier than on the controller. You don't have to worry about your snapback, and you don't have to get a perfect gray control stick. It's also way easier to do on both sides. The keyboard does beat the controller here too, in my opinion. Pros, easier and faster to learn, easier on both sides. You don't have to worry about stuff like snapback. Difficulty, a 3 out of 5. Difficulty for a full invisible hack stash is a 5 out of 5. Dash out of crouch. Now, this is my most favorite aspect. The keyboard beats the controller hardcore at this point. Dash out of crouch is most important tool when it comes to reaction tech chasing, and if you're not able to do it consistently, then you can basically give up trying to play with reaction tech chases. My controller has driven me insane because dash out of crouch is so difficult on the Gamecube controller. Even pro players like Wizrobe or Sechi keep missing them. This just proves how hard of an input the move actually is. On the keyboard, you can get 10 out of 10 dash out of crouches easily with only 1 hour of practice. Also, I think the dash out of crouch is really controller dependent. Some are better at it than others, and it's just something I don't really trust in when it comes to controllers. So difficulty on keyboard is a solid 1.5 out of 5, but on the Gamecube controller, it's definitely a 4.5 out of 5. Now, reaction tech chasing. Overall, I would say that the keyboard beats the Gamecube controller out when it comes to reaction tech chasing. The dash wave dash is easier, the dash out of crouches are also easier, and all you have to do is really practice how to react to the different types of animations, and you're pretty good to go. Notice that even if you have mastered all these techniques, that does not automatically mean that you'll become a reaction tech chase god. You still have to have insane good reaction timing for it to work. Difficulty for perfect remastered RTC, 10 out of 5. It's so hard that 5 out of 5 would be way too low. Overall, I think the keyboard does really fine, and it's fun to play with. Also, I think it can hold up against the Gamecube controller pretty well in technical aspects. And I also think that if someone would to grind out the keyboard, he would become insanely good at Falcon. If you would like to see full games of me playing on the keyboard, just leave a like or comment below. I will upload some footage soon to show you what a 1 to 2 weeks keyboard Falcon looks like. Thanks for watching.
Also guys, there's something I would like to tell you. I will become the best Captain Falcon with a keyboard from the entire Germany.